I'm Andre Huey, and this is Sxm TV News. The week's news was dominated with the arrest of Member of Parliament Silvio Matzer early Wednesday morning as part of the ongoing octopus investigation into vote buying in the August 2014 election. The prosecutor's office is saying that the arrest of the Member of Parliament is in no way politically motivated. The prosecutor's office has never been or will never be politically motivated in the execution of its duties, said spokesman of the office Norman Surface. His comments stem from talk in some sections of the St. Martin community suggesting that Matzer's arrest was an attempt by the justice officials to stall the handling of the draft 2016 budget in Parliament. Meanwhile, Prime Minister William Marlin stressed the urgency for a vote on the budget for St. Martin in the midst of the arrest of MP Silvio Matzer, which he said will affect the passage of the budget.
For the arrest to be made on that particular morning and in the manner in which it was done, seemingly, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, that the procedures to arrest or to start an investigation against a member of parliament seemingly were not properly conducted. But even if they were, could it not have waited 1 extra day or 2 extra days? Now we have the national interest. Having a balanced budget is being put aside for the interest of the Attorney General to proceed with arresting someone against whom an investigation supposedly started way back in 2014, completed way back in 2015, and only on that particular morning an arrest can be made.
In related news, Prime Minister Marlin also denied that he has attempted to form a new government in a bid to get support for the budget.
At no time that I made any proposal or request to form a government, to form a new government, or to form a broad-based government. Why? Because there is a government in place. What we do not have is a balanced budget as yet approved by Parliament. What we do not have is a majority in Parliament at this point in time so that the meeting can continue.
Still on budget news, Minister of Finance Richard Gibson in his presentation on the budget has called on the Parliament to support the budget as it is balanced and addresses some of the island's debt problems. Here are some of the highlights from his presentation.
St. Martin will have access, theoretically, have a right, theoretically, to borrow up to $1.2 billion based on the interest norm in the CFT law. I know you'd be crazy to do so because you also have to have and act prudent in whatever you do. You might have that right. But the IMF, for small economies such as ours, have been advancing the idea that your debt to GDP ratio should not exceed, or it is prudent to not exceed 50% debt to GDP. I warn you, there's some people who interpret it differently and who say, no, we now have a debt to GDP ratio of about 33, 36%, and we shouldn't go much higher than that. And I say baloney. That we need more room because the investments which should have taken place at the start of country St. Martin did not take place. I see that as extremely important because 5-6 years from now we could start getting those human resources that we need for here, not those we borrow temporarily, for here in St. Martin. We also need that for finances. We need a whole cadre of people for finances, and that's a next thought. But, you know, there's a limited amount that you can do. But training people in finances to be able to support your government apparatus and to support the economy is essential. And so there are others. I am saying if we have the access, we should invest in people.
And finally, on St. Martin Allentine TV News, this year marks the 16th year of the annual Leadership Conference LeaderCast. The LeaderCast is the world's largest one-day leadership conference, broadcast live from Atlanta and simulcast to hundreds of locations around the world on May 6, 2016. The live stream on St. Martin is hosted by the Victorious Living Foundation. The theme for this year's conference is Architect of Tomorrow, focusing on visionary leaders who imagine and build a future that is rich in innovation, collaboration, and full of hope. A future where problems are solved, questions are answered, and confusion gives way to clarity. The conference will equip attendees to create their own visionary path. Key speakers and visionaries in their own fields will inspire the more than 200 persons who attend locally and the more than 100,000 people who attended the live event in Atlanta or at hundreds of other simulcast locations in more than 20 countries. Among the keynote speakers are Kat Cole, Group President and Focus Brands Incorporated, Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple Inc., Henry Cloud, acclaimed leadership expert, clinical psychologist, and best-selling author, Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama, Andy Stanley, leadership author and communicator, James Brown, network broadcaster at CBS Sports and News, Rooker Denver, Navy SEAL commander and author, Chris Barris Brown, author and creativity guru, and Trip Crosby, host of LeaderCast, comedian and director. This has been St. Martin Allentine TV News. I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.